Good morning, students. Today, the topic which we are going to discuss is microteaching. Now, the learning of today's topic are understand the meaning of microteaching means you will be able to understand the meaning of microteaching after the completion of this topic. Acknowledge the importance of microteaching. That's why the microteaching is so much important. Identify the goals and objectives of microteaching. You will be able to identify that these are the goals and objectives of microteaching. For able to analyze and understand the microteaching. What is teaching? The best approach to understand the meaning of teaching is establishing a harmonious relationship between teacher, student, and subject. When we want to understand that this is teaching, that this is the basic concept of teaching, and that basic concept of teaching best when we able to establish a harmonious relationship between a teacher, student, and a subject which the teacher is teaching and the student is learning. Activity of facilitating learning means teaching is that activity that is facilitating, encouraging the learning. Effectiveness in teaching does not relate to teacher age, sex, and teaching experience. Means we cannot judge that only teacher will be effective. Effectiveness in teaching does not relate to teacher's age, sex, whether teaching experience. We cannot say a fresher teacher cannot teach well. What we cannot say a teacher is having an experience of 40 years is the best teacher. What is teaching? It's about motivating students to learn. Means it's a way that will encourage the students which should be done in a manner. It should be done in that particular manner that is relevant. Means it should be relevant, meaningful. The information should be meaningful and memorable for the learner. It's about caring for your practice, having a passion for it, and conveying that passion to everyone. Most importantly, to your students. Teaching is also about bridging the gap between theory and practice, the way in which we can fill the gap between the theory. It's about embarrassing oneself in the field and talking to consulting in which we are consult with other person and assisting practitioners and liaison with the communities. What is teaching? Do not criticize student and lose their face. Do not criticize anyone. Is humble, fair, use variety of learning activities. We have to use a variety of learning activities. Has a sense of humor, which the teaching should be humorous. Does not teach from a sitting or a leaning position. Good interpersonal relationship with students is necessary. Employ an effective delivery method. You should employ a best teach the students, keep accurate record of work completed, and you have to keep an accurate record of the work that is completed by the learner. Attendance, test results, and students' grades. What is learning and how learning happens? Learning knowledge acquired by studying. Learning is that the knowledge that we have acquired by studying that particular topic. Learning happens and knowledge is invented. There is a famous saying, I hear, I forget, means when a student is hearing something, he easily forget. I see, I remember, I see things, I remember that things, I understand. And when he is involved in that learning, then the understanding is much better. How learning happens? We remember 20% of what we hear, 30% of what we see, 50% of what we see and hear, 90% see, hear, and do. Microteaching, Dr. Allen and his group evolved microteaching in 1963 in America. In 1963, the concept of microteaching was evolved. Microteaching is a technique, an approach aiming to prepare teaching to the real classroom settings, means in which we are preparing in such a way that they can set their education in the real classroom settings. This definition was given by Brent Thomson in 1996. Microteaching can also be defined as a teaching technique especially used in teachers' pre means that is a technique that has been used by in the teachers' pre-service means before they will go for teaching education to train them systematically, and it is a way to train them how to teach systematically in a order by allowing them to experiment main teachers' behavior. By the help of this technique, means by the help of micro-teaching, teacher candidates can experiment and learn each of the teaching skills. They will experiment with their teaching skills and they will learn that teaching skills by breaking them into smaller parts. That of micro-teaching is saying that they learn better when we break that into smaller parts encountering poetic environment of the crowded classes. And now micro-teaching skills will be learned by teach- the teachers who are in the pre-service education that we are of breaking the actual classroom settings into smaller. In 1963, micro-teaching has become an established teacher training program. It's become a procedure that helps into giving teachers training in many universities and school districts. Universities and school districts. This training procedure is geared towards simplification of the complexities of the regular teaching. Means micro teaching has been used as a procedure which is helping to reduce complexities of the regular teaching learning process. Class size means the class size will be reduced and the duration of time period will be reduced. Task has to be reduced and the content that has to be delivered by the teacher to be reduced to minimum. Are scaled down to provide optimum training environment. All these things will be done so that a proper training environment can be facilitated for the learners. The supervisors demonstrate the skill with practice. First, the teacher will demonstrate that this is the skill, and that skill has to be practiced by you. That skill will be demonstrated by the supervisor. This may be live demonstration, it can be a live presentation of the supervisor or a video presentation, or he can make a video of it and present to the in front of the then the group members select a topic. The group members will select a topic and prepare a lesson a lesson on the skill that has been presented by the supervisor. Of 5 to 10 minutes, the duration will be of 5 to 10 minutes for the teacher training. Then has to, the opportunity to practice. They will have to practice that skill and evaluate, and they will evaluate, assess how much they have learned that particular skill, and evaluate his use of the skills. Practice takes the form of a 10 minutes micro teaching session in which 5 to 10 people are involved, and the number of students that are involved in the micro teaching session is 5 to 10. What is micro teaching? Teaching of a small unit of content, where the teacher will teach a small unit of content to the students. To the small group of students means the number of students are reduced to 6 to 10 in a small amount of time. The duration that has been given to the particular teacher to teach that particular content is about 5 to 10 minutes only. To train inexperienced student teachers for acquiring teaching skills means it's a training. Micro teaching is a training procedure where we are training the student teachers for the teaching skills that are necessary for a teacher to learn. to improve the skills of experienced teachers, and it is useful for the teachers also, those who are experienced. If they want to improve their skills, then micro teaching is the best method that can be teacher for improving their skills. Now, micro teaching is a scaled down teaching encountered in class size and class time and DW. Please say that micro teaching is that technique. The class size means, for example, in a regular class there are 30 to 40 students, but when we are about the micro teaching, there will be around 5 to 10 students. Class 10, we always see that a regular class will be of 30 to 45 minutes, but when we are talking about the micro teaching, the class duration will be of 5 to 10 minutes. 5 minutes are the maximum minute which have been given to the trainings to learn that particular skill or to practice on that particular skill. Micro teaching is a training technique, is a training technique which was given, uh, which is help to train the teachers, which requires student teachers to teach us. And in micro teaching, students are giving only a single concept. The students will learn that skill or acquire that skill using specified teaching skills to a number of people in a short duration of time, and that the duration for to learn that particular skill is a small duration. Was given by Passy BK and Lalita. Now, micro teaching cycle. Step one, micro lesson plan means first we have to prepare a micro lesson plan which we want to present before the supervisors or the group. May take 2 hours a day. It will take 2 hours to prepare a micro lesson plan. Step two, teach. After making a plan of a micro lesson plan, you have to teach that plan. Feedback session means you will get the feedback on the basis of presentation that you have presented before the learners or the supervisors. Uh, Step 4, pre-plan means on the basis of feedback which you will get from the supervisors or the partners, you have to replan your micro lesson plan again. It might take 10 minutes around. Step 5, another group, then again, on the replan that you have made, you will again repeat another group. And it can be of 5 minutes. Step 6, re-feedback. You will get the feedback on the basis of the presentation, and it's again will be of 5 minutes. Means total 30 minutes approximately a micro teaching cycle will last. Now, micro teaching cycle plan, then you will teach, and on the basis of the teaching you will get the feedback. On the basis of the feedback you will again replan, again reteach, and again you will get the feedback, and this cycle continues till you attain the perfection in that particular skill. Now, characteristics of teaching. Content is divided into small units. When the content is divided into small units or part, only one teaching skill is considered at a time. Means focus is only on one teaching at a particular time. Provision of immediate feedback means immediate feedback given. In micro teaching cycle, there is a facility of replanning. Means in micro teaching we can replan, reteach, and re-evaluate the presentation or content. It puts the teacher into the microscope, means everything will be minutely looked. All the faults of the teacher are observed. All the faults of the teacher will be observed. Problem of discipline can also be controlled as the number of students will be reduced to 5 to 6. The duration of the delivery of the lecture will also be increased. Duration of teaching as well as number of students are reduced. Now, comparison between micro teaching and the traditional teaching. Traditional teaching class consists of 40 to 60 students. Means there will be 40 to 60 students in a particular. Whereas in micro teaching, class consists of a small group of 6 to 10 students. Means only 6 to 10 students there. The teacher practices several at a time. When we are talking about the regular class, the teacher has to practice several skills at a particular time. The teacher has to ask questions to the students. The teacher has to explain. The teacher at the same time has to write something on the board. A teacher is using so many skills at a particular time. But in micro teaching, the teacher takes up one skill at a time. The teacher will focus on grammar time, explanation skill at another time. The duration is 40 to 40 means in a regular class will be 40 to 45 minutes. Duration of time for teaching is 5 to 7 minutes, but when we are talking about teaching, the duration will be 5 to 7 minutes. Immediate feedback is not available, means feedback is not possible in the classroom, but in micro teaching there is immediate feedback. Now, teaching skills. Teaching is the blending knowledge, art, science, and creativity. Means teaching is an art, it's a skill where there is of knowledge, art, science, as well as creativity. It costs a number of verbal and non-verbal. When we are doing teaching, it is consist of various verbal or non-verbal acts. The set related behaviors of teaching acts aiming at a specific objective performed with an intention but people can call a teaching skill. Now, teaching skills. Dr. West 1976 had described the following 13 skills as follows. Writing instruction objectives, introducing a lesson, how will you introduce a lesson to seeing fluency in questions, co-copying questions, fifth means it's focused on how a teacher should explain a concept to the learner. Sixth, treating with examples, stimulus variation, there should be stimulus variation when the teacher is teaching a particular concept. Science, non-verbal cues, reinforcement, or it can be an active reinforcement, and increasing pupil participation, how you will encourage the students to be actively engaged in teaching narratives. Using Blackboard, how you can use the Blackboard. Achieve means how you will close the particular lesson, recognizing attending behavior and recognizing for attending results. The first one is introduction skill, establishing rapport with the learner. Now, as you went into the class, the first thing is that you have to establish rapport with the learner, linking the past experiences, and you have to link the new knowledge with their previous knowledge. Link between introduction and main part means the new concept that you are going to teach to the student must be linked with the previous knowledge which the student has. Use of appropriate devices, you have to select appropriate device to integrate that particular chapter and the concept. Techniques like questioning, you can ask some questions related to the previous knowledge. You can give some examples, etc. Probing questions are those which help the people to think in depth about the various aspects of the problem. Means probing questions are a technique which can be used by the teacher to know how much the pupil have a knowledge about a particular concept. By asking some questions again, the teacher make the pupil more thoughtful. Means the teacher will ask questions again, and by asking the questions again and again, it will increase the people thinking related to in people to understand the subject and they can have the full understanding or in-depth knowledge of the topic. Skill of explanation. That skill will be used by the teacher to explain the difficult concept to the learners. It involves the ability of a teacher to describe. Means it's an ability of a teacher to describe logically, to give uh, logical form, how and what of concept. Means these basic questions should be explained when the teacher is using the explanation skill. Precautions for skill of explaining means what are the different precautions that can should be used by the teacher when he is using that explanation skill. In simple language, this explanation should be in simple language. The teacher should not use a difficult language while explaining. B should not be given the shape of an advice. It should not look like that he or she is giving advice to the learners. Should be sequence. It's important. And the explanation should be in a sequence order. Means first the teacher should explain the meaning, then types, then importance of that particular topic, and then merits or the disadvantages or the advantages of that particular topic. Should be according to the age, experience, and mental level of the people. Means explanation should be according to the age to whom you are giving the explanation. Experience is how much experience they are and the mental level of the people. Now, skill of stimulus variation. Teacher movement, stimulus variation include the teacher movement, how the teacher is moving for teaching that particular concept. Gestures, how the teacher is using different gestures, his hands, his face by explaining the concept. Change in voice means there should be a change in voice of the teacher. He is explaining something. Means the teacher should give stress on those things which he considers as important. Focusing means important things should be in the focus. Change in the interaction pattern means how he or she is interacting with the student because at what time he should take a short break. Students physical participation. Skill of blackboard writing. Now, skill of blackboard writing includes that components of the skills of blackboard writing are first legibility. Means it should be understood by each and every student. Size and amount. That the words that has been written on the board should be on a proper size. Highlighting main points. The teacher has to highlight the main points that he or she has mentioned on the board. Utilizing of the space means the proper utilization of the board should be there. Blackboard summary means the teacher has to write the main points on the board. Correctness, everything should be in a way. Why? Because the students are writing the concept of the things from the board. Position of the and the teacher should make angle of everything when he is writing on the blackboard. Now, what it is so that the teacher should keep an eye on the student also when he is writing on the board. Now, contact with the people, the teacher should be in the continuous contact with the people by writing on the blackboard also. Skill of reinforcement. Reinforcement means the motivation which is given by the teacher to the student. The time to appreciate the learner as they need social approval for their learner. Behavior. Now, what is that? Every student needs some appreciation from the teachers or from the adults as an approval that this behavior, this social behavior is correct or not. Appreciation for correct answer and as well as the students wants appreciation for correct answer was given by him to the teacher. will make them more eager to respond to the correct answer. Now, for example, if you ask a question to the student and he has given the correct answer and you have motivated him, this is the first condition. And what will happen? That student will be always eager to respond with correct answer to you when you have asked a particular question. Now, situation B. You have asked a question, the student has given you the correct answer, but you did not appreciate it or reinforce the student. Now, what will happen? The next time when you will ask the question, same question to the same, now that student will not respond to you or he will not eager to respond to you with the correct answer because he thinks he will think that you neither appreciate nor give reinforcement to him. It will help them to increase their participation. If the teacher will continuously reinforcing the student, it will definitely increase their participation in the teaching learning. Now, skill of reinforcement, both verbal and non-verbal cues can be used. The teacher can non-verbal cues. He can go near to the student and just say verbal. The teacher can say that good, very good. These type of cues can be used by him. Excellent, carry on, good, ahead, well done, good, right, fine, etc. are the verbal which are given by the teacher. Smiling, acting, friendly, etc. are examples of the non-verbal reinforcement. Repeating and rephrasing the given answer. For example, the student has given the correct answer. Now, the teacher is repeating this answer which was given by the people so reinforce the student to give the correct answer. Give using extra verbal cues like etc. to make them continue. Skill of illustrating with examples. Examples always should be quickly related to concept. The examples quoted by the teacher should be specifically related to the content which he or she is going to teach. It may be concrete. The example should not be in abstract form. Everyday or first hand experience. It always gives the advantages of economic time and increase the pace of exploration. It may be positive or negative examples, both either positive or negative examples. It can be connected with serve for better understanding. Means the teacher can use the examples for the better understanding of the learners. Examples always should be simple. It should be simple, interesting, interesting so that all the students get involved in or take interest in the illustrations and relevant to what the student is learning. Inductive and deductive approach can be applied by illustrating the examples. Skill of achieving closure. Questions and statements by the teacher related to the consolidation of the major points covered during the lesson means that now the teacher has to conclude the lesson. Now the teacher has some major points repetition or the main points repetition that has been occurred during the lesson. Opportunities provided by the teacher to the people for linking the present knowledge with the past knowledge. Now opportunities should be given by the teacher so that the people can link their present knowledge with the past knowledge. Opportunities provided by the teacher to the people for applying the knowledge. Now, opportunities should be given by the teacher to the people so that they can apply the knowledge that they have gained during the lesson plan to the new situation of their life. Feedback in my helpful information or criticism that is given to someone to say what can be done to improve a performance product, etc. What has to be done so that there will be an improvement. The success of micro teaching depends on feedback. Means micro teaching depends on the feedback a practitioners or a teaching educators is getting from the or the trainees is getting from the supervisors. In various form in case of micro teaching by the supervisor, he can use the video films, TV, which are sources of feedback. Now, advantages of micro teaching. It focuses on sharpening and developing specific teaching skills and building talent. Means micro teaching will focus on developing the specific teaching skills. Means we are focusing on developing specific skill and eliminating errors and to reduce the errors to the minimum. It enables understanding of previous important in classroom teaching and it understand the importance of behavior in classroom teaching. It increases the confidence of the learner teacher. It will definitely increase the confidence of the learner teacher. It is a level of continuous training. It is a vital for which the teachers are involved in the continuous training. It only for the pre-service teachers, but teachers also can improve their skills by this training for both beginners and for senior teachers, not only for the freshers but for the senior teachers also. It provides expert supervision and constructive feedback. Now, disadvantages of micro teaching. It requires competent and suitable trained teacher educators when we are talking about the teaching, the supervisors which we are required are competent. They should have the knowledge of that particular skill. And suitable trained teachers. And suitable trained teachers should be there. It is time consuming. You have to make a plan, then you have to present, you get the feedback again on the basis of the feedback. Make a plan, again you will reteach, again you will get the and this procedure will continue till you attain the mastery on that particular skill. So that is why they are saying that it's a disadvantage of microteaching time consuming process. Application of microteaching to new teaching practice is limited. How you are micro teaching to the new teaching practice is limited. Means application of micro teaching to the new teaching practices is limited. It tends to reduce the creativity of the teacher. Means reduce the creativity of the teachers. It can be carried out successfully in a controlled environment. Means teaching can be successful only when we are teaching the or we are making the teacher or trainers perfect when we have made a particular controlled environment. Now, today we have about the teaching, the concept of teaching, the concept of micro teaching. The concept of micro teaching is that in which the duration has been reduced, the number of children has been reduced, and the skill which we are practicing is reduced. Next, we have discussed about the skills. And there are so many skills: introduction skill, explanation skill, reinforcement skill, blackboard skill. Means we have discussed about all these skills. Then we have discussed the phase of micro teaching that it has planned, then you will get some feedback, and then on the basis of the feedback you have to replan, reteach, and then get the feedback. And then in the last we have discussed about advantages and disadvantages of micro teaching. For better on this topic, you can refer these references. Now let us discuss some MCQs on the basis of the topic which we have discussed today. Now the first one is duration of lessons in micro lesson plan is when we are for the micro lesson plan 5 to 10 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 35 to 45. And we are talking about the micro lesson. What will be the correct answer? The correct answer will be 5 to 10 minutes. To maintain interest among students in a class, that you want to maintain the interest of the students in a particular class, a teacher should, what should a teacher should to maintain the interest of the learner? Options are: A, discuss with the students. They have to discuss with the students that particular concept. B, ask questions from students. You have to continuously ask the questions from the students. Blackboard to start writing on the blackboard. Tell stories to students. You are telling different stories to the student. Now these are the options, and you have to select the correct one. And the correct one is you have to discuss with the students. It will definitely increase the interest of the students in that. Third one is microteaching started, and in which year the microteaching has been started. Now the options are 1960, B 1965, C 1946, or it's D 1960. Now these are the options, and now you have to select the correct answer on the basis of the choices, and the correct answer is option B. That is 1963. Microteaching has been started. Now the fourth one, microteaching focuses on the competency over. This microteaching focuses on the ability of which thing. Option A, maths, that it is focuses on the competency over methods. B, skills, the skills that have been used. Content that have been selected. D, none of the above choices, or it's D, and no one choices has been the. So the correct answer is option B. That is micro teaching focuses on the competency of skills. Now the fifth one is micro teacher is. Now the options are A. Teaching training technique. B. Teacher method. C. Motivational technique. It's none of the above given choices. So a micro teacher is a teaching training technique. Now the sixth one is what is the number in micro teaching? What should be the number of students we are talking about the micro teaching? Options are A 5 to 10, B 1 to 5, C 20 to 25, or it's D 25 to. So the correct answer is option A, that is 5 to 10. Most important task of teacher is what most important task of a teacher. Now the options are A, to take care of children. That this is the that has to take care of children. Evaluate the students, that we have to evaluate the performance of the student. To organize teaching work, that have to organize that all the teaching work should be in a proper order and in an effective manner. D, to deliver lecture in the class, that will has to deliver lecture in the class. These are the options, and you have to select the correct one. And the correct one is to organize teaching work. Next one is the important, most important while writing a review, which is the most important thing that a teacher should consider when he or she is writing a review. A, writing small letters. B, clarity in writing. C, good writing. Or it's D, in writing. So what is it? So the correct answer is option B, clarity in writing, that every should understand what is being written on the book. Now the ninth one, who stated that the teacher is scaled down teaching encounter in class size and class time? Who has given the definition that micro teaching reduce the class size and class size? And the options are A. Allen, B. W. the Bacon, the Alexander, or it's the Jackson. So the correct answer is option A, that is Alan P. Turing. Now the 10th one, what is the merit of microteaching? What is the merit or advantage of microteaching? Feedback help in the improvement of microteaching. On the basis of the feedback that we will improve the method of teaching. B. Due to the shortage of time, but the lesson plan into small units and then get the content. Means you will divide the content into small units and try to mastery over the small contents. It C. It helps in self-evaluation. Teacher build up confidence in that. Means it will work as a self-evaluation technique also. And of the above. Now these are the choices. You have to select the correct one and the one will be all of the above. So micro teaching has all the above and all the advantages. Thank you, student. So with this particular narration, you understand the teaching, understand the concept of micro teaching, that it is a teaching technique in which the duration of the class has been reduced, the number of students is reduced, the, and the content which you have to be taught has also been to be reduced. Now, the next thing which we have is the different skills that has been included in the micro teaching skills. And these skills has to be mastered not only by the pre-service teachers, but the in-service teachers also can master that by training, by taking training in that. They have to prepare the lesson, then they have to present that lesson plan. On the basis of the presentation, get some feedback. On the basis of the feedback, again make a plan, then again present it, again get some feedback. So this is a micro teaching cycle, and on the basis of that, there can be an improvement in the skills, the using of the skills for the teacher. A micro skills teaching is not limited for the improvement in the pre-service teachers. It for the in-service teachers also. Then we have discussed about advantages, that these are the advantages of micro teaching, and these are in the end we have discussed about the advantages of the disadvantages of the micro teaching. So in the next class we will discuss about unit plan and lesson. Thank you so much.